the updated 2024 Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport brings fresh styling and a bevy of new luxuries, lots of it as standard equipment. And it remains spacious for both people and stuff. Let's take a closer look. Looking at the front of the car, you can tell right away it's been updated. First, you have this larger, more pronounced grille right here. It's a slightly different shape as well. And you have this light beam that runs from the headlights straight across all the way to the other side. That illuminates the entire way, and so does the Volkswagen logo right here. Looks pretty cool at night. Also, you have some gloss black elements that are built into the front of the car, and a nice little R for your R-Line models, SEL R-Line and SEL Premium R-Line. Volkswagen also did a good job to include some chrome elements. You have one off to the side here for this little extension here, and then another one that also runs more or less the full width to give you the lower edge of the bumper. And then also this piece right here kind of bifurcating this lower grille element right here. And then you have body color and black and chrome and black and body color. It's a cool, if maybe a tiny touch busy design. Now this is a very wide vehicle already, but then these elements here and these horizontal slats into these elements off to the side add to that width feeling as well. And then you get more presence because of these large yet still vertically stacked headlight beams right here. All in all, I think it's a pretty interesting design. Also, the hood itself has a bulge at the end and then a couple more on either side with this like scalloped out part here in the center. So it looks pretty interesting and pretty cool. But maybe you're like me and more curious to see what's underneath it. And there it is, your turbocharged 2-liter inline-4 engine, transversely mounted or side to side like that, well and truly tucked deep and down low into this engine compartment. You can see how much space Volkswagen had to work with here. The original Cross Sport did have a VR6, 3.6-liter VR6 option, and clearly that needed a little bit more space than this, but it's pretty impressive to see just how low and then how much space you have. There's a cowl here in front that hides it, but you have space in front and lots of space in back as well. So that's quite interesting. I also like seeing these cool braces right here to add a little bit of structure, and the strut towers are all the way back into the back of the engine compartment. The front of the strut tower is where this padding is, so there's very likely a built-in strut tower brace right there. That's quite interesting to see as well. Also, this big and massive air scoop right here, and then the battery is actually tucked pretty low itself behind it. The axle center line is right around here, so kind of the back of the engine shroud right there. So much of the engine is in front of the front axle center line, which isn't great for chassis balance, but again, we're talking about a big SUV here, so it's not the worst crime in the world either, is it? And finally, windshield washer fluid is the probably easiest thing to get to right up front right here. Easy. Looking at the Atlas Cross Sport in profile, this gives you a good chance to check out this Kingfisher blue metallic paint. I think it is a really nice color, especially contrasting all these chrome elements you see. We have this nice chrome element here that says Cross Sport built into the door and a little bit of the front quarter panel. We have chrome window trim right here and more of a polished metal roof rail right here. But then you have another chrome strip that runs down low, kind of goes across both the doors and then extends back for the rear bumper right here. I think that's a nice touch as well. Also, Volkswagen did a good job to have short front and rear overhangs and a nice long wheelbase. I always like that look. And with that in mind, I will go ahead and put the dimensions up on the screen for you to check out and let you know that I have a lot more information in the description. Standard wheel size for the Atlas Cross Sport is an 18-inch aluminum wheel, but you can also get 20s, or if you go with this top trim, 21-inch wheels. And even with 21s, with 45 series rubber, because the wheel is so big, that's actually a pretty decent amount of sidewall you have to work with there. And yes, this is a square setup. The wheel in back is the same size as the wheel in front. Looking at the car from the back, this is maybe just a little too much for me. There is a lot going on here. It is quite interesting that the taillights do effectively run the entire width of the vehicle, and it's not a beam. This is a massive bulky hunk of stuff right here, and I think that's interesting. I do like this chrome element that starts at the base of the taillights in the side and also runs the width like that. I think that's a cool element. And, you know, the slope for the rear and the rear spoiler, it's all tastefully sized and that kind of thing. But there are just a lot of angles and slopes going on here. Also, there's this subtle curve, so it actually extends out. It's its longest right at the center and adds a tiny touch of like a boat feel to it there. But then there's a couple of things that I could do without. This faux diffuser is awfully aggressive for a crossover SUV, and a large one at that. The trailer hitch tucks in reasonably well and stuff like that. But then you come off to the side here and you have these quad exhaust tips, dual tips on either side, except you don't, not at all. These are totally fake. The ends of it end right there. It is dual exhaust tips on either side, and they are underneath down here. This always bothers me, and this is probably one of the more egregious examples I've seen of it. Otherwise, this would be a cool design. To me, it just becomes a little too much. So, you know, you'd probably get used to it, but that's not my favorite. Anyway, let's see how much space we have inside. That's right, the Atlas Cross Sport can be had with the kick of the foot release for the tailgate, which you just saw me do right there. Fun little trick. And you do then get 40 cubic feet of storage behind the second row. And as you can see, it is a very wide space as well. A kind of highish loading floor, but a lot of easy use space to be sure. And underneath the floor, you get your spare tire and a little bit of extra space on top of that. Also, cubbies on either side and some tie down points as well. And if 40 cubic feet isn't enough for you and you only have to carry one passenger, well, a lot more space is easy to get. Pull a lever at the base of the back row, and both the bottom and seat back move to give you a real nice flat loading floor, a real nice wide space to use, and 78 cubic feet of storage and room for you and a passenger. And I'm convinced ample room for my bike, but let's find out just in case. Since I've started doing this Will My Bike Fit test, this is the easiest it's ever been. Wow. Wide space, good length, plenty of space. Yeah, my bike fits with no problem at all. Room to spare, super easy to get in and out. So yeah, if you're a bicyclist, this is a great start. All right, let's take a look inside. I got my bike out, but I left the second row seats down on this side so you can see the lever that's right here. It locks in place, so you have to lift this lever to free the seat up. But when you do, check it out. Not only the seat back, but the seat bottom articulates with it as well before it clicks in place. Also, check it out. I put the other side at the extreme of how much you could lean the seat back, and then this is at the most upright position. But what's really interesting is as you lean the seat back, the seat bottom cushion leans with it. So at any recline level, the most upright or the most reclined, it's actually pretty comfortable because the seat bottom and seat back work with each other. They kind of move in motion, and I think that's really clever. I am 5 feet 11 inches or 181 centimeters tall, and as you can see, I have plenty of knee room. I also have a nice high seat bottom, so I have really good thigh support and much less than a 90-degree bend in my knees. I have okay headroom as well, but only just because we do have this big panoramic moonroof section right here, And as you can see, that takes some headroom away from you. But this is also a very wide car, so I have plenty of hip and shoulder room and all that kind of stuff. I also have heated rear seats. So SEL and higher trims get these heated rear seats for the 2 outer seats. I also have 2 USB Type-C ports and AC power as well. Not only that, we get sunshades. And of course, we get an armrest with cup holders because, man, come on, it's luxury back here. I mean, in all seriousness, this is a very comfortable second row, plenty of space. I don't feel cramped at all. So if it were 4 adults in here, all 4 of you would be totally comfortable. Maybe not NBA players. All right, to the front. By the way, this is titanium black, according to Volkswagen. And because this is an SEL Premium trim, this is quilted leather seats, and they call it Vienna leather. I don't know what it means, but they are comfortable, and I do like the patterns in the seat rests here, so that's all lovely. You do also have good upper and lower seat bolsters right here. This is definitely above average for an SUV of this size. You also have plenty of controls right here, including lumbar support and 3-position seat memory right here on the seat. The door has the usual set of controls on it. You also have your lift gate release right there. And this is a good time to tell you that we do have the Harman Kardon sound system. We also have this nice metal kick plate right here, aluminum pedals, and even aluminum rest pedal. We do have both tilt and telescope adjustment in the steering, and it is manually done right there. And we also have a couple buttons to the left of the steering for lights and for defrost. You're looking at a 10.3-inch fully digital instrument cluster, which Volkswagen calls Digital Cockpit Pro. And because this is an SEL Premium, SEL and higher trims get it, we also get a head-up display. Next to that, a widescreen 12-inch center console touchscreen. Push button start is down here. There is the Volkswagen Digital Cockpit Pro all lit up, and it is also configurable. The view switch is right there. You have lots of different options for how you want to look at your speed and tach, and that also includes a driver assistance screen, which we might want to take a look at when we're on the interstate. Here is the 12-inch center console touchscreen lit up. As you can see, we have this nice digital representation of an analog clock, but we can even choose what kind of clock we're looking at, which I think is pretty interesting. The home screen looks like this, and it's really easy to slide things around and move it around. And as you can see, we do have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, push of a button right there. Built into the screen is also a dual zone climate control system, and it is push button adjusted right here. Also, you can see that we have heated and ventilated seats for both the front driver and passenger, and that's standard equipment for the Atlas Cross Sport for 2024. That's one of the new features, and that's pretty impressive. Also standard for 2024 is a heated steering wheel. Nice. By the way, the steering wheel itself is a nice thick rim, and it has plenty of controls. We've got media controls and the heated steering wheel on one side and cruise control adjustments on the other side. Also, these buttons right here are really convenient. Volume and track adjusted right in the steering wheel. So it's really easy to make adjustments to your music volume and choices without lifting your hands from the steering wheel. I really like that. We have a few buttons right here, including your drive mode controls right here. This is your menu for the touchscreen. This is your driver assist options, and you can turn on a climate control screen just like this and get a better sense of what the dual zone climate control is offering you. Beneath all that, there is your standard equipment wireless smartphone charger and 2 more USB Type-C ports right there. Standard wireless smartphone charger is another really nice touch. Beneath all that, I already showed you the engine start stop button right there. You push to put the car in park, but otherwise you have this little dial for drive and reverse, and neutral is a softer touch, and an electric park brake right there. The 2 cup holders are nice and deep and wide and easy to use, and you also have plenty of storage down here with yet another USB Type-C port right there. And this is a big, nice, wide, deep space. Looking up, you have the usual equipment plus controls for your panoramic moonroof, and the panoramic moonroof is on SEL and higher trims, and it includes the electric privacy panel, which is lovely. By the way, this screen has a myriad of options on it. I am just scratching the surface, but I do want to show you the drive modes because there's lots of those as well. Again, the mode button's right here. Click it and you can see that we have Eco, Comfort, Sport, Custom, Off-Road, and Snow. And to see what's in Custom, you can see that you can affect the steering, the drivetrain, the engine sound, and then that's your adaptive cruise control, light assist, and climate control. So this is mainly a powertrain adjustment. You know, you're talking about how the transmission's going to behave, how the engine's going to respond to your throttle inputs, that kind of thing. This does not have adaptive suspension or anything like that. You can adjust the steering weight, but even in sport mode, in my honest opinion, is still pretty light. There you have it, the refreshed 2024 Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport. This one being the SEL Premium R-Line. It's got all the bells and whistles, and there's a lot of them. But even standard equipment is pretty darn impressive in this thing. I'm Robin Warner. Thank you very much for watching.